Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Knicks and Pistons, Game 2. Going to be diving into the insights we have for that one. A lot to look at here as there was some unexpected stuff, including in the matchups there in this game. So we're going to dive into that and how we can take advantage of that moving forward. And then obviously jump into the player props that I'm looking at. Plenty of looks here for Game 2 that I like. Some adjustments being made and some things that will probably continue that we can depend upon. Also have a video up for the Clippers and the Nuggets. So definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of the playoffs action as we continue to roll along. Really good day on Saturday. Couldn't get a video out on Sunday for you guys. Still moving, still in flux, so not totally settled, but definitely like the looks that I have for these two games, including this one right here. So go ahead and give that video a like, and let's get right into it. We keep climbing after a great day on Saturday, plus 2.7 units there. So now up 43.4 units on the season. Sunday is still going on, so I'm not exactly sure how we did, but not great to start. And now I think we're going to salvage some of those bets back with some wins here in the Warriors and Rockets game that's still going on right now. But looking at here what we did on Saturday, like I said, 6-3, KPJ. I mean, he's going to keep playing 25. He played 29 minutes. I actually had him at 25, got even better than that. So feeling good about his role in this series without Dame moving forward. And we'll know more about Dame here, at least after Game 2. I don't think Dame plays in Game 2 of that series. Siakam hit the threes, hit him in the first quarter. Love an early cash for plus 145. He continues to take more threes when he plays against Giannis. So we'll keep looking at the plus money. TJ McConnell hit us with 10 points in this game. Only needed him for 7. He only played 15 minutes, but it really wasn't close at all. And I think the Bucks might be the worst team in the playoffs right now. So I'm not sure if we should bank on them keeping too many games close, but we'll see if he's still at the same number, if he goes up here in the next game. Aaron Gordon, 4.5 boards. Going to talk about him in that Clippers and Nuggets video that I have up as well. He was guarded by James Harden, so he had 5 offensive boards, so that really helped. And we'll keep looking at that if he's going to have easier matchups because they don't want to put Kawhi on him. They don't want to use Kawhi in that fashion so that he gets beat up on the defensive end, right? They really want him to save him for offense. Peyton Watson, we hit this bet nice and early, but then he didn't play in the second half. So I don't know if we can go back to Peyton Watson either now that we can't necessarily trust his minutes. He played like 9 minutes in the first half, felt good about him getting to about 20, and then he played 5 in the second half. But we still got the early cash, so feeling good about that, obviously. Josh Hart hit us with 6 assists, but he needed 7, so we got the under there. He had 10, I believe, maybe 9 potential assists, so I don't know if I want to go under 5.5, as this is probably going to get pushed down, but 6.5 is still a good look when we can get it for the under for him against a really, really good Detroit defense, really good at limiting assists, especially. As far as the losses go, Brunson only took 5. Going to talk about him in this episode for sure, but the threes, if it's not plus money, I don't know if we'll go for it. I mean, I'm not mad that we took this bet. He only took 5. He hit a ton of 2s. He went 10 for 22 on 2-pointers, got to the free throw line a good amount, and he'll probably keep hunting that kind of stuff. So not sure if we'll go back to the 3s just yet, but Cade on the 3s, I'm still happy to go back to that. I'm almost glad he didn't hit it. He went 1 for 4. Only took 4. We had him at least at 5. I think he's going to keep trying to take closer to 6, and I'm still going to keep betting on Cade. So we'll talk about him in this episode for sure because our man just had a bad shooting night. That's what I'm considering it. And then Kawhi, 24.5 points. Not sure what to do with him just yet because I still like him. He was 9 for 15. It was just the problem is he was 9 for 15. He only took 15 shots. We need him to take closer to 18 to 20, which is what he was taking leading up to this game. And then Harden has had an easy matchup. He was going off. Game 1 Harden is a thing too. So I do think we can go back to Kawhi as the series moves on. I think the Clippers probably win this next game. So we'll keep looking at his stuff. But do want to remind you guys, if you want to jump into the VIP, still offering 50% off if you do use code YOFS25. And that'll get you 3 months of 50% off on the VIP access as we keep scrolling through with these bets, hoping to keep getting above 50 units pretty soon here. But if you do want to jump in there, plenty to look at in the VIP, including my bets, some bets from the VIP cappers, plenty of insights in there. But let's go ahead and jump into everything that we've got here for this Game 2 in New York. Let's get into some Game 1 notes so we know what we're looking at here for Game 2. Some major changes to Detroit's defense, but there were also some changes from the regular season matchups to New York defense. Going to go over that in just a sec. New York did play Cade straight up, so it's not like he didn't get his points because he was getting double teamed and had to force the ball out of his hands. He just missed his shots. He still took like 20, 21 of them. He's going to keep doing that. But they did put OG and Anunoby on him, which was different. So we'll talk about that and if that's going to impact him moving forward. Brunson took 27 field goals. Nobody else had more than 15 in that game. And I don't know if we should expect that or not, because I don't know how you are JB Bickerstaff, the coach of the Pistons, and you watch Brunson just take everybody to the house, like right to the paint, just give him the old YMCA, old white guy, pivot, and then a nice little shot. causing a bunch of fouls as well. So love Brunson to keep doing that. But if you're JB Bickerstaff, I think you have to start bringing a bit more of a double team to him and helping off of other guys. If you look at the two guys we talked about for foul trouble before game one, Cat and Duren, like clockwork, Duren had 3 personal fouls in the first half. Cat had 0 in the first half, and then 3 in the third quarter to be like, wait, let's not be the only people. Let's not let Duren be the only guy fouling unnecessarily, oftentimes 90 feet from the basket after a defensive rebound. Detroit, if you're looking at the side in this game, I think they shot their shot and they may not have been enough, because if you go 15 for 32 from 3 and still lose to a Knicks team that shot they shot like 38% from 3, but that's not 48.5% or whatever that is from deep. If you're gonna use all your bullets in that one, I don't know what else they have to do here to be able to win this game, including Beasley. Like, this is just a sort of example of what happened to Detroit. Malik Beasley goes 4 for 6 from 3 in the first half, 2 for 6 in the second half, and that's just not enough. He couldn't shoot them out of it. Tobias Harris blew his load in the first half and couldn't do much in the second, and so that was a big problem for them. I think similar looks here in the Knicks game, in game 2. Maybe they come out firing again, but I think the Knicks put this one away as well and go up 2-0. Looking at the matchups real quick, because I showed you in the last episode, the matchups were a little different what they are right now. We actually had Bridges on Cade and Anunoby on Tobias Harris, but they switched that. I mean, Cade's been destroying Mikal, to be fair, and anybody that's guarded him for the Knicks, but especially Mikal, who's been his defender one-on-one. Knicks don't really double either. They didn't double Cade in this one. OG did a great job. It's just Cade also missed a lot of easy bunnies, which we'll talk about a little bit more, because it's really the reason to me that he went under. He still shot the ball 21 times. He still had really good looks, which you can see really easily when you go look at the tape of this one, like I watched it. Really, really just good defense, but not that good of offense, just unlucky. So I still think Cade's a good bet in this one. Bridges on Harris, I don't know if that's going to be a big deal. Like, Harris didn't really use that to bully Bridges in any way. He did get the rebounds, but he still isn't getting a ton of rebound chances. So, I don't know that the Bridges-Harris thing is affected, but we'll see if OG really does limit Cade once again. Maybe we need to consider that it's just a much tougher matchup for him and not one that he can exploit as easily. I thought this was really interesting as well. On the other side here, the matchup for Detroit covering New York. We saw a few things switch up here. We saw Hardaway on Bridges, Osar on Brunson. That's normal. But then look at this. We have Duren on Hart and Cade on Anunoby, and then Harris on Towns. So we really just switched everything around. It was Cade on Hart, Duren on Towns. Well, they don't want Duren on Towns because he got in foul trouble. Once again, 3 personal fouls by the second quarter. Boom, come sit next to JB Bickerstaff on the bench. That's how it went down for Duren in this last one. Even though he only guarded Cat for a little bit in the first half, he was mostly on Hart. He's still, when he's waiting for Cat to come into the lane, he's fouling him, right? Or Brunson when he tries to help on him, just didn't work. So I think we're gonna have to fade Duren again, but we'll get into that as we jump into these player props. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show, the #1 sports betting research tool for NBA player props. Definitely make sure to use code LYB if you're going to go ahead and jump in. It's about $20-25 a month. You get 25% off your first month, and then you get a 7-day free trial as well, to see if you want to use it before you even spend any money. So definitely recommend using that code if you want to jump in. This is the best way to save time. It's a one-stop shop, really, as you'll see me use it here throughout the show. But kicking it off with Jalen Brunson. I mean, where else would we start? And I know a lot of you guys want to talk about the points again. 27.5. He's gotten 30 against this team almost every time, right? 4 out of 5 of this season. And the only reason he got under that in this game was he barely played, especially for him, 29 minutes in this game. And that was because he was still coming back from injury, whatever, right? So 29 minutes. Other than that, 35. It's going to be anywhere from 31 to 44 minutes against this team, including 40 in this last game. So you want to take the points, and I get that. I like the dimes. 6.5 is a great number for a couple of reasons. One, if we look at him against this team here, he's averaged on the potential assists about 14 per game, right? 13.8. I'm great with getting 7 on 14, right? On the season as a whole, he's at 7.3, and his potential assists on the season are at 12.5. So he's already getting more than like 60% of his potential assists turning into regular assists on the season, which isn't that crazy for a guy like him, even though I usually say 50 to 55% is a reasonable expectation for your potential assists turning into assists. For Brunson, he's a guy that's going to have to get doubled because he's just too hard to guard one-on-one. He creates fouls, right? He gets to the paint as much as he wants. And that's why he went 10 for 22 from 2-pointers and 2 for 5 from 3, which we'll get to the threes in 1 second. But I just can't believe that Bickerstaff will let him just tool that on them the way that he did in this game, right? I know his percentage wasn't incredible, but the potential assists in this game were at 12. And the key here is just minutes, because the only games he's gone under, not only this season, but also last season, those were the games he wasn't getting his normal minutes. So the 2 he went under, 29 minutes in this last one, 5 assists in the first game of the season, played 31 minutes, took a million shots because they were still, I think they were still mad about losing recently to like the Celtics. They whooped him, right? They smacked him by 30, and he only played 31 minutes as a result of that. Well, in the other games, 44, 39, and 40 minutes. So as soon as he gets 39 to 44 minutes, he's good for more than 10 potentials, that's for sure, and then 7 assists per game. In fact, 8, 10, and 11 in these 3. If you look at last season against this team, same concept. Over in 2 of 3. The 2 that he went over, 40 minutes. The one that he went under, 30 minutes. Very clear pattern here. If the Pistons keep this close, which although I think the Knicks win, I think they do it down the stretch in the fourth quarter, once again, with a guy like Brunson getting a lot of points. But before that, like, I have to believe that they're going to bring more help than just leaving Ozar Thompson, Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, whomever their just poor soul is allowed to take Brunson, who's in playoff Brunson mode, right? Which is just go to the bucket, get to the free throw line, get easy baskets. That's what guys want to do when it gets to postseason time. But before that, they're going to have to double him. So as a result, I like the dimes here in this one. And just to touch on the threes, if you get this at plus money, I'm good with it. That's going to be my rule basically for Brunson on the threes versus Detroit. If we're at 2.5 and he's got it at plus money, I like the over. Looks like there's a couple books with plus money, but for the most part, you're getting this at flat, right? What we say flat, it's like the same number on both sides, minus 115. I don't like it flat. I like it for plus money. Otherwise, I'm out on the 2.5 threes for Jalen Brunson. As we jump over to Cade, go ahead and give the video a like if you're getting anything out of what we're doing here. Not going to be stopping throughout the rest of the playoffs with you guys. Obviously, as I move into the new house, things get a little bit upset here and there, but for the most part, going to have these videos for every single game in the postseason as much as I can. For Cade, I'm just going to go to the points, man. Like, he just had a bad game. I really hinted strongly at that at the top of the video. I still believe that if you can get 26.5 for something like minus 105, I think it's a great number. Yes, 26 on the season. You know his minutes are going to go up, right? He just played 39 in this last game. On the season, he's at about 35 minutes. So you know he's going to keep getting more and more as we keep going forward. The shot attempts for him in this game, 8 for 21. Just missed, man. I mean, here's a quick tip. Go to NBA.com. Go to the box score of that game. You're going to be able to see the highlights of every single shot that he took. If you just go and click on the box score, you'll see you can click on his field goal attempts. It's a hyperlink. Click on the field goal attempts. It's going to bring video up for you for every single shot that he took. And you're going to see they're all good shots. There was like 3 or 4, like, no, don't pull that kind of BS shots for Cade. All the other ones were right in his wheelhouse, mid-range, bunnies in the lane, missed them. Just missed the easy ones with OG Anunoby guarding it. I'm sure OG bothered him more than most defenders would, but I'm still not worried about Cade getting his. So I'm just going to go to the points, man. I'm going to get this if I get this at 26.5 in the morning when I start putting these bets down officially on my card, then I'm going to Cade over 26.5 points. And honestly, I'm probably going to go back to the threes. This is what we missed in the last game, but we had it at like minus 145, which I thought was a fair price, but I still thought was a good number. He's hit 2 a game on the season. He's hit 2 a game against this team in all but this last game where he only took 4. And last season was a similar case, right? He took 9 and 7 threes against this team. If he takes 7 threes, of course, I'm going to bet for him to make 2. And he just took fewer in this last game than he normally does. Other than the first game of the season, he was 5 for 8, 4 for 8, and then 2 for 5 and 1 for 4. So he's going to be taking 5 as long as this game stays close. I think it's going to be a reasonably close game, and Cade should be expected to get more points and 2 threes in this one. Next up, I like a sneaky look here for Tobias Harris on the quarter 1 points. We're still getting this at 3.5. And for those of y'all who have been following along for this sort of the last half of the season, I think it was Prop Bomb that came on a live show and showed us that Tobias Harris is a wagon in the first quarter for his points. And that's been the case. There's just some guys who they give shot attempts too early, and Tobias Harris is one of them. He's at 5.2 points per game on the season in the first quarter. The impressive part here is the minutes are at an average of 10 on the season, 10.6 here in the last since the All-Star break, essentially, right? And then the field goal attempts too in the first quarter. Love this, by the way. Quick shout out to Props Madness for having the stats broken down by quarter for you. You can see his field goal attempts in the first quarter, not just for the whole game. There's not that many platforms doing that. The field goal attempts are at 4.5 here since the All-Star break in the first quarter, and they're at 4.2 on the season. So you give me 4 field goal attempts in the first quarter for a guy, plus he's getting to the free throw line a few times. A couple of those are threes, 1.5 of them are threes. The free throw attempts almost at 1 a game. There's easy points to get to 4. 3.5 is just too low, right? Like at minus 136, great. We've been taking this comfortably at 4.5 because he does pull a couple threes per quarter. So I like the 3.5 too much to pass up on it. And if we get this at 3.5, like repeatedly, I'm just going to keep blindly going over on it. As long as we have it about minus 150 or better, this is a good look for me. Moving over to Jalen Duren here for the Pistons, and I mean, man, how do we not go under, right? He cannot keep his hands to himself. It's how he gets fouls in this series, like every time they play. So if you look at them head to head, the reason he's going under is the minutes: 18 minutes, 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 26 minutes. Nice over there in one of the wins in April. And then 25 minutes in this last game because he can't get to 30 because by the middle of the second quarter, he's got 3 fouls. And that was the case in this last one too. Now, here's the interesting thing about Jalen Duren, right? I told you at the top of the video, he's not guarding Cat anymore, right? He's guarding Josh Hart because they're trying to keep him out of foul trouble. And they also want him down there to protect the rim and be able to sort of help off of Hart, not necessarily one-on-one with Cat. Didn't matter. Still got the fouls real quick. They took him off him, and they took him off Cat officially, and he kept the fouls down because he only had 1 in the second half. By then, it's too late. Like, you're not getting to 30 minutes if you can only play. You can't even play like 10 to 12 in the first half, and that's the problem with Jalen Duren. And that's been the problem with him the whole time that he's played this team, dating back to last season and this season, specifically this season. First game, only 2 fouls because they only played him 18 minutes because they lost by 30. Second game, 4 personal fouls. Third game, 6 personal fouls. And then in this last one, another 4 personal fouls. It's just tough to play aggressively like he does when you just can't stay out of foul trouble, both via charges and on the defensive end. So I'm probably going to be fading him at 25.5. There's a little discrepancy here between the numbers, but I will say most books copy books like Pinnacle. So Pinnacle is usually a leader here in terms of like making their own numbers, making their own projections, and then other books copy the lines that they put out because they know that they're sharp about it. So 25.5 for Pinnacle tells me other books might start copying this, bring it up to 25.5, and I'm very happy to take an under on that one on his PRA. Don't forget to use code YOFS25 if you want to jump into the VIP and not miss any of the bets that I'm putting down here. That'll get you 50% off on your first 3 months in the VIP. Access to my picks, my insights and write-ups, access to me if you have questions in the chat, as well as the other VIP cappers in there dropping some really great insights, including in MLB. So hope to see y'all in there. Make sure you check out Nuggets, Clippers. And until I see you next, happy betting.